Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Flow Yoga. It's so quiet here now, but here we are, and this is Gentle Flow Yoga. So welcome and thank you so much for joining me today. So for this morning, please unroll your mat. Certainly, if you're preferring to practice with us on a chair, please grab your chair and anything that you may want, blocks. Now for today, we're going to do something kind of special for those who are used to practicing in the studio and are used to having bolsters, and you're saying, well, I don't have a bolster, I really miss that. So for today, we can go ahead and make our own. So I have a bed pillow. All you need is a regular bed pillow, and if you take the pillow, it's in the pillowcase, fold it in. That's all you're going to do. Just fold this guy in. So it's going to be half the length. And you now have a short bolster. So if you don't have a bed pillow available, if you do have some sort of maybe pillow on your couch or anywhere else that you are, you can even grab like a blanket or even a few towels today. We will do a practice that we can use these to help us. And if you don't have them, we're going to go ahead and make do with that as well. This works out perfectly. And having someone who has traveled a lot doing all kinds of yoga conferences and classes and trainings, that this has been a great way for us to learn how to get comfortable both on the mat and just seated, laying back. Sometimes the conferences and trainings can be quite long. So anyway, wherever you are, take a moment and lie back. And if you do have something to cover your eyes for the end of class, please go ahead and get that as well. So take a moment, let's settle ourselves in on the mat. Just lie back. We're going to take some time if everybody's walking around and kind of gathering their things. So for those who can already just lay back, you can just begin to take that long, slow, soft breathing. And then as everyone comes in and meets us, that we can all begin to breathe together. Breathing in to the nose. And maybe allowing our mouths to open and letting out that sigh, that that we can just settle in, soften. Feeling our eyes gently close as the eyelashes kiss one another. So our eyes aren't squinted shut, but lightly and softly. And if we're seated in a chair, we can just let our back rest on that chair and let the eyes close. We can begin to feel our jaws soften, our jaws relax. Maybe that remember a sigh, even a moan are always welcome as we let go. Maybe we want to move our head just a tiny bit, however feels good. And maybe that little gentle movement, you can just begin to feel that little softening, just feeling that head begin to just release. Maybe we want to wiggle the shoulders as well. So just let those shoulders wiggle, even let the arms wiggle. So we can allow those arms to fall heavily onto the mat. Can we allow those palms to lift upwards? Feel the fingers soft. So allow the weight of the body to melt in. Maybe we can wiggle those hips and allow those legs to be heavy. And maybe you're thinking, wow, maybe I can grab that pillow that I just place that under my legs. So that may be perfect too, because this time is for you. For you to be relaxed. Just be in your breath, breathing in. And again, always allowing that that we can just let go. And then as you're settling in, we can begin to feel that breath just moving gently into the nose and out through the nose. Noticing where we feel that breath moving into the body. Because checking in here, is there somewhere that maybe that breath doesn't want to come into? And then feeling that breath flow into every cell, into every molecule of our being. Just breathing in, just breathing out, and noticing how that breath is just naturally coming into the base of the lungs, into the belly. So just feel now how we didn't have to really make anything work, but we were able to just bring that breath into that space. Let's go ahead and bend our knees. So if our legs were straight, we want our knees to bend. And as we do so, we can let our legs do a little side to side rock, just a tiny movement, more just to let the hips lift. And then find the space that feels good, allowing those hips to rest. And then maybe noticing for a moment your legs. Are they trying to fall in on one another? That may be what they need today. So allow your feet to walk out so that the knees can gently kiss one another. Maybe on the other hand, you feel like your legs are falling outwards. So maybe you could take, if you brought a yoga block to your mat this morning, you could take that yoga block between your thighs and just allow your feet to go a little bit wider. And then let those legs feel as they come in, melting in on one another, just kind of letting go. So again, find that space for you. This is about you. This isn't about me. And then letting the eyes again turn inwards. We can bring our right hand onto the solar plexus, onto the belly. And let's just come back to that breath, just breathing into that belly. And go ahead and let that belly expand a bit. It's okay. Because we notice that as we exhale, how that belly will flatten back down. And let's see if for today we can allow that exhalation, that breath going out, to be a little bit longer than that breath coming in. And maybe feel just that body letting go. And then we can take our left hand and place that over our chest. You want to find the breastbone. So you may feel the collarbones, where they two come together, and just below you can feel that breastbone, that sternum. So allow that hand to gently rest. And as we breathe into that belly, feel that breath rising up into that chest. And then as we exhale, feeling that chest, releasing that breath first, and then the belly. So again, noticing how long and slow that breath is. But But again, if we can allow that exhale to be a little bit longer. And maybe we begin to feel and hear a sensation in the back of the throat. That we may feel the back of the throat narrowing a tiny bit. That we can feel that resonance of the breath. We can hear that resonance of the breath. And that will help to slow that breath down coming out. So let's go ahead and let our hands now rest down. Again, palms turning up. Maybe we want to adjust those shoulders. Remember, always giving ourselves wiggle room. And do you need to wiggle those hips? Because we've made subtle changes. We may need that little more adjustment. Now, as we continue to breathe from the belly first, let's go ahead and let the low back arch up a tiny bit. And then as we exhale, just let that back melt back down. But we're not pushing. We're just letting it release in that exhale. The eyes close and just feel here as that breath fills into that belly, as that low back lifts. And we may organically begin to feel that as we breathe in and that low back lifts, we may start feeling that mid-back lifting, and we may get to the point that we just feel really the shoulder blades down. And that's okay, allowing that body to release. So let's just do that a few more times, just feeling that spine begin to move. And this is really kind of the cow pose of our cow-cat flow, but we're not really catting here. We don't really want to push the back into the mat. But what we do want to begin to do is that as we exhale and we press that breath out, can we feel the belly muscle and use that to help lift the tailbone up, feeling the strength in the legs here as we just tilt that tailbone a bit, but watch it that we're not pushing the back. And then we can lower that tailbone, lower that pelvis down again as we inhale and arch that back. So we do that a few times. Feel that belly turn on. That's what's lifting you. And if you're saying to yourself, oh, I don't know how to turn that belly on, well, think about what you would do if you had a tight pair of jeans, and you're trying to get them tight, you're trying to get them zipped, you're gonna squeeze that belly in, feel that belly, that lower belly really tighten. You feel that you can get those jeans on, that's it. Same, you've got it. So just breathe. We've all been there. If you say, I never have, I wonder. So let's go ahead. If you want to stay right here, that's perfect. But if you'd like, as you feel that belly, as you feel that tailbone lift, use that as your next inhale. Lift up and come up to a bridge. And then as we exhale, slowly come back down. So feel that lifting. Now do this a few times. Now, if unlike me, you were smart enough that you kept your pillow close by, we're going to access it. If you're like me and you didn't, you may have to get up for a moment and grab it. But let's see if the next time we come up into that bridge, we can take that pillow and bring it under our hips. Now it may be really high at first, but wait till you lower your hips down and then you go, That now feels really good. So I have one of those big memory foam pillows that really puffs up. But once my butt comes down on it, it's okay. So noticing here, your pelvis may be fairly flat and your low back lifts. And check just for a moment that your chin is not tucking in. Go ahead and maybe roll those shoulder blades again. So you can feel, if you take your hand behind your neck, you should feel that lifted just a little bit off the mat. And then just take a moment here that you can just settle in, breathe. And go ahead if you want a little side to side rock with those knees. Again, that little windshield wiper is fine. Always giving yourself that chance to readjust. And we're going to begin moving our legs. So obviously if you're on a chair today, you didn't bring that pillow under your hips. But maybe you could slide that pillow a little bit behind your back and support that space. There's always a way to come to that place. So let's go ahead as we inhale, lifting the right knee up. Just inhale and then move that ankle around once that leg gets there. So we're not trying to draw it deep in that we push into the back. Just allow that leg to hover, and you may notice you can feel the firmness here of the belly. So move that ankle around a bit. Do you have any crunches? I do. And then find the space that if this foot was on the wall, so imagine you can feel the ball of the foot, you can feel that kind of more forward foot of the heel. Feel the arch as that arch is lifting up into that top of the foot. Maybe go ahead and really stretch out the toes. Make them long, make them wide. And maybe you start to feel the whole strength of that leg here in that space. Just take a moment to breathe here. And then as we exhale, remember our exhale is really long and slow, can we begin to lower that right foot down? So don't let the leg collapse. Now feel the belly. This is called eccentric. So this is a contraction that really helps to support us. And you may notice that you feel kind of like a girdle-like sensation. And this is what helps to support the back. As we inhale, let's go ahead and lift that left. Again, not pulling it tight. We don't want to push into the back. So find the place that maybe that knee hovers over the hip. And if we're on the chair, that knee's going to be right out like in front of the hip. And then we'll move that ankle around. And are you crunching there, or did one side crunch more than the other? My right was really loud, but the left is a little quiet. And then circle the other way. And then again, can we find that place where that foot is strong? So we want to imagine the toes are pointing to the ceiling and the heels are pointing to the floor, so we can feel that whole foot stretching. Imagine that foot is on the wall, so you can feel almost like feel those contact points of the ball of the foot and that more forward portion of the heel. Go ahead and let the toes widen, the toes lengthen. Feel the arch of the foot as though it's lifting to the top of the foot. Just find that breath here, find that strength. You feel the muscles of the legs, you feel the muscles of the belly. And then again, as we exhale, long, slow exhale, letting that foot come back down. And again, feel that belly. Do you remember what I called it? It's your Jeopardy question, an eccentric contraction. And once you're there, that foot comes down to soften that body again. Maybe that allow those knees to sway side to side. How do you feel? And then come back to center. Let's just for a moment bring our arms a little closer to our bodies. Let our chest open. Again, palms are turning up so we can feel that widening of the chest. And this time as you inhale, lift the arms straight up. Let the fingers point to the ceiling. And what you're probably going to notice is that your hands turned a little. Your thumbs now are pointing back. And as we exhale, let those arms reach back. And whoa, you may feel that belly again, that same eccentric. And then as you inhale, letting those arms lift back up. And then as we exhale, can we soften them down, letting those palms turn up. Let's do that a few times. Inhaling as we lift. Exhaling as those arms come back. Inhaling up and exhaling as they release. Let's go ahead and do one more at your own pace. We're going to take one more, but we want our arms to stay back this time. So taking your time, and once our arms come back, we can interlace our fingers, press our palms away from one another. Really get ourselves a nice stretch. Now notice if the ribs are coming up, just kind of soften them in just a bit, get length. And then when we're ready, our arms are once again going to come up. Point them up to the ceiling, then keep them here. Softly draw your shoulder blades back and down onto the mat. And as we inhale again, bring that right knee to the chest. And let your hands either come to the knee, maybe they slid behind the thigh. Just don't hold on right here at that front of the shin. That kind of clamps down on the hip. So we want to have a softness. And maybe here you begin to play what feels good. Maybe draw it a little, make sure you don't push into the back, and then slowly make some circles. So allow that hip just to begin to move, juicing up that hip. And whatever direction your circles are going into, we must take them the opposite way as well. And then can we once again draw that knee to a place that it feels like it's right above the hip. Let's bring that foot strong again as though that foot was on the wall behind, that's in back of us, or shall I say in front of us. And then we're going to release our hands again. Take that inhale as the hands lift up. Exhale as the arms come back. And then our next inhale, we're going to take this foot, press it up to the ceiling. Press up through the heel. Can you feel the strength in that leg? Can you feel those muscles, like those muscles are wrapping into the bones? Let the hips be heavy. Don't lift and push the hips up. Don't push that back. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. Feeling that inflow, feeling that outflow. Let's keep that leg right where it is as we inhale, lift those arms up. This right leg. As we're exhaling, allowing that leg to go long on the mat and allow our arms to melt down. Nice little counter pose here where we were using that hip flexor here. And now we get a chance to just relax that. Notice how lifting that hip up a bit allows us to kind of lengthen that through a tiny bit more. And then maybe take your right arm back behind you, just the right this time. Maybe stretch it a tiny bit more. Maybe use that left hand to kind of reach down into the left and get that luscious little side stretch. And if for you today you said, maybe I'm not so happy with that pillow under my hips, that's fine, take it out. This is your practice. You need to find what's good for you. I call it the 3 bears rule. Some things could be too high, some things could be too low, they could be too hard, they could be too soft, but we want it just right. What's just right for you. And then can we slowly bring the arm down? We're going to bend this right knee in again. And let's just take a moment. What do we feel that's different? What do we feel in that side? What do we feel in the body? So let's go ahead and take our arms back again. Remember, it's an inhale up, an exhale with the arms coming back. Let's inhale, bringing that left leg up. Feel that ankle, that foot strong. And as we exhale, sinking the body in, let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, bringing the hands to the knee and maybe drawing it in just a tiny bit. Let's go ahead and bring that knee one more time in line with the hip. Let the arms lift up, the arms come back. And our next inhale, can we straighten that left leg? Again, feel the energy rising up through the back of the leg, through the heel. Look at the toes, let them be wide, let those toes be long, and maybe feel those toes dipping down towards your body as though they're a waterfall. Pause here. And maybe you're saying, wow, that one side felt really good. This other side feels different. Maybe you feel something in the shoulder, you feel something in the back. Would you like to bring the arms down to the side? You always have permission to do what you need for you today. And then let's go ahead as we inhale, lift those arms up. As we exhale, bend that knee in, bring that hand again, and maybe feel that you can slide that leg a little closer in. Take a nice inhale here, just open the body. And as we exhale, can we slowly begin to lower that left? And then let it come long onto the mat. And just release. So again, counter pose to the hip flexion, feel that opening. And then perhaps that left arm would like to lift up and that left arm would like to come back. Maybe we use that right hand to kind of reach down into that right a little and really feel that space opening. And then we're going to come from this pose once again, so level ourselves off, maybe lifting that left, exhaling down, slowly go ahead and slide that left foot in. Do we want to rock a little side to side? But let's see here how our bridge is. We're going to use that to help us take this pillow out. But maybe roll the shoulder blades underneath a little more. Maybe feel that chest opening a bit more. Collarbones are wide. Can we press the feet into the mat? Can we feel those hips lift and find that nice bridge pose? And then from here, can you take your hand and slide your pillow out? And then gently, slowly lower ourselves down. Just take a few breaths here. Notice the spine. Notice how the natural curves, how the gentle release. And then we can do a little side to side. Now after we sway side to side evenly, let's take an inhale and bring that right knee up again. But this time all we're going to do is take our right hand to the knee and then gently bring it out to the side. And then when you're ready, slowly take that left up and let that come over, and almost like a little clamshell. So feel, for the moment you're looking to the right, and maybe just feel that stretch in that outside of that left. Maybe you notice that left shoulder to come up a little. So go ahead and start to wiggle that shoulder a tiny bit. And then maybe wiggle that right shoulder. And then settle the upper back down. And can your head gently turn to the left? So notice now that luscious stretch into that left hip. And maybe the space between the two legs has air rather than have the legs touching. So if you had that pillow, you could slide that between your thighs here, like I'll do. Maybe you had a block. You could even just take your hand and kind of give that a little space. And then let's go ahead and go to the other side. So we're going to lift that left leg up first. Go ahead and lift it up and let that left hand come to it. We're going to go ahead and now bring that right leg up and then just lower that left leg over to the left first. And then when you're ready, that right leg can kind of come over. Remember, this is like a little clamshell. Allowing ourselves to settle in. I want you to feel this in the hip. I want you to feel it in the glute. I don't want you to get this big wrenching twist into the back. And again, that right shoulder may be lifted a bit, so go ahead and just kind of take it and work it around. Maybe you work that left shoulder a bit, and then allow the body to melt down, and then slowly come into what you know is that twist. But I want you to feel the belly taking you there. Not the back. If you notice, the low back has really very little twist. For those who practice with me on a regular basis, for those who take the anatomy course that I teach in the Jivapatha School of Conscious Yoga at House of Light in Spring Hill, we talk about the parts of the spine that are for twisting and not so much. So just take a moment here just to settle that in. And then let's go ahead as you inhale, lift that right leg up, come back, then bring that left. And just for a moment, let's come into that full Apanasana, that nice release wind pose. Let your eyes close. Maybe your thighs are melting into the belly. Play with your feet. What feels good? Do you want to point the toes? That may push the leg away. Maybe have the toes as though the toes are pointing to the knees. You can feel your body coming in a little more. Feel the spine long, not compressed. And then give yourself a moment to rock side to side. And then rock to the side that feels good. And then slowly let's ease ourselves up. Now we are going to use our bolster again. Well, I should say our bolster. Habit our pillow. And we're going to use our pillow. And if you don't have one, again, you can do this pose without. It just gives you a little bit more motion if you do have this support. So we're going to come to our right hip. So we want to sit on our right hip. That means our knees are pointing left. And we're going to slide the right arm over that pillow. And you want the pillow to be under the side of your body, your ribs. So you're trying to not have your armpit really pushed into that space. You want to kind of ease yourself, that you can start to lowering your side, right side of your head onto your shoulder. Now you may need to ease back to support, so go ahead and go where it feels good for you. And if you can, turn that right palm upwards as well. If you need to have the palm down, of course, do what feels right for you. And as the knees are bent, we're going to take the left arm and we're going to make some circles. So we're going to work the shoulder. So we're going to pull the left arm back. And as we inhale, lift that arm up. And as you exhale, reach that left hand towards the right hand. And then as we inhale, we're going to go ahead and take it through again. Now you may notice your body giving a little bit of a turn. It kind of comes forward a little bit, and then it comes back a little bit, and that's just perfect. So instead of just moving the shoulder, you want to feel the upper back. This is called the thoracic. So it's an inhale as the arm lifts, and exhale as the arm comes down. And let's go ahead and do that one more time. And then can we allow that left hand to rest onto that right? So you're making a little sandwich here of your head. Your left arm is on top, your right arm is on the bottom. And now can you really breathe into that left side of the ribs? So this left side that's pointing up, really, really draw that breath here. Now some of you who practice this pose may feel that it could just twist open a little bit. Now that's up to you. Maybe you want to just kind of open up a little. That's only if your body says. So again, just go where the body is kind of naturally and organically going. And you just get a little different sensation, but you're feeling your left hip moving away as your left shoulder is moving in the opposite direction. Eyes are closed and just breathe. Maybe that head is still resting on the arm. Maybe that head is moved back and you're on the floor. It's up to you. Let's just take 2 more breaths here. After you complete that second exhale, just come back to where you were when you were beginning, where you came into this space. And we want to bring that left hand down. Let it come down onto the mat, because you now want to press yourself up. Just take a moment here to press ourselves up. We're going to sit nice and tall. Just sit really tall here. Feel as you're trying to lower the left hip down. And we're going to give ourselves a nice twist. So this time we're going to take the right arm, we're going to lift it up, backstroke. Bring that right hand down as far back behind our buttocks as we can, and we bring that left hand to that right thigh. We sit up here nice and tall. Just breathe. Can you feel that right side of the chest expanding as that right shoulder blade kind of tucks its way in? And that left side that we had stretched, we feel that left shoulder blade kind of moving forward a bit. And then gently come back out. So let's go ahead and just turn ourselves. So if you can, just turn away. So I'll turn away from you for a moment so that I can come onto my left hip. The knees go to the right. they're bent. And if you are seated in a chair, you can sit tall and just bring one hand down and raise an arm up. You have so many options of twists that may feel good. So we're going to notice how our two sides are very different here. So this time left arm reaches. So slowly easing our body through once again. Adjusting ourselves so we feel that pillow underneath of us. We can go ahead when we feel settled in, that palm, can we turn that palm up? Can we rest that head again? And again, you may need to be a little more forward. You may need to be a little more back. That perhaps you need to fill that armpit space a little bit. So here you get to see from a different angle, allowing that head to rest. And that right hand now begins to move. We use that inhale to let that arm lift up. Exhaling as it reaches over to that left hand. Inhaling as we begin to lift. So again, you may find your body doing a little bit of a turn here. Feel yourself breathing in, breathing out, and allowing the body to move in that place that feels natural here. Don't try to force anything in one way or the other. Let's go ahead. The next time that right hand reaches over towards the left, we're going to pause. We'll make that little bit of a sandwich here of our head. Breathing in now to that right side, that right rib area that's lifted. You can just feel this whole space just lifting and opening. Feeling that right hip moving in the opposite direction of the hands. And then again, maybe your body rolls. And in this case, I'm rolling right off the pillow. But if that feels good to you, it's okay. The hands can come apart from one another a little bit. But again, you want to feel safe, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel good. Just breathing into the places that you feel opening. Let's go ahead. Let's take 2 more breaths here. If you did open up a little, we want to come back to the place that you're lying solely on that left. Can we bring that right hand down and then help to ease ourselves up? Sitting on the side. Can we feel that right hip lowering a bit? Let's take a big deep breath, feeling our body lift and then turning left. So taking that left arm, reaching it through, letting it come back behind the buttocks, right hand to left thigh, sitting up tall. Feel that yoga smile. And then when ready, just come back to sit. So now this time, instead of us turning to the right and going backwards, we're going to turn forward. And guys, we can use this pillow again. So as we just bring our legs around, can we allow our legs now to rest on the pillow? So if you find our forward folds challenging, if you feel like the back of the legs just don't want to let go, that the knees tend to buckle up, you may find yourself rounding at the back. This is perfect for you. So we can take our hands under our buttocks and kind of move our butt cheeks back a little. So we can feel ourselves on the sits bones. There are these 2 little bones right here under that butt. You may be able to bring your hands there and feel them. It's okay. Go ahead and feel up your butt for the moment. And allow those legs to cascade over your pillow. Try to allow your calf area to be free and kind of hanging. You don't want that area lifted. You want the heels touching. We're going to take a big deep breath. We're going to let our arms reach out. We're going to lift all the way up here for a moment. And as you exhale, let your arms come out to the side. Feel your thumbs pointing up like you're going to hitch a ride. Feel the shoulder blades strong. Feel your heart open. And we're going to begin to tilt our upper body so we can feel our belly to our thighs. And then let those hands sweep to the feet. Now caution, if we feel our toes turning out to the side, we're kind of pulling ourselves back in. So we want to see if we can keep the toes at least pointing up to the ceiling. Because when we turn our toes out, we get a little tightening in the buttocks. And here we really want to ask that area to release a bit. And if you can reach your hands past the feet, that's fine. Maybe you just touch the feet. Maybe you want to grab your little yogi toes and then feel yourself getting a little bit more length, opening the body and using those arms to come in just a little bit more. And now notice that stretch. Our Paschimottanasana, our forward fold stretch. So maybe take a few breaths that you can lengthen. We want to lead with our heart here. Feeling ourselves exhale. And then once you feel that you've gotten to the place as far as you're going to go, that you can softly relax, can you just release? See if you can allow the arms to become soft. Maybe you can take them under the legs. Maybe you need to bring them over. Maybe you want to let your head rest. And one of the things I didn't mention but works out good because I know you're spending time on the mat is you could bring a yoga block. This works beautifully to rest your head. So if you want to bring that block, you could put it here and rest. You have so many options that work for you. Yoga is a beautiful thing because it's about you. It's not about me. I'm just here to guide you. And then as we go to rise up, take an inhale, lengthen our spine. We want to feel our back now kind of melting forward into our chest. You don't want to lift up here in a rounded back. We want those muscles to begin to resume that positioning that they know that's their job. And then use our hands to walk ourselves up. Let's take a moment just to find an easy seated pose so we can bring our pillow out of the way. Maybe we want to take that pillow and put it under our butt that we can sit. And here, let's find either easy seated pose that our legs are crossed. Maybe you want a lotus pose. Maybe you want your feet together. As we find here our butterfly, our Baddha Konasana. But just take a moment, find that place here. And just close our eyes and breathe. Just notice. Feel that breath moving into the body. Feeling that breath moving out of the body. Be again that Now as we begin to prepare ourselves to lie on the mat, if there is a pose that calls to you for you to seal your practice today, please go ahead and take this moment to come to that place. Whatever that may be, that maybe you're looking for an inversion, Another twist, another fold, another heart opening, whatever feels for you. And then slowly begin to bring your body down onto the mat. And maybe that pillow is going to come under your legs that you can completely relax. You know, if you ever get a massage from any of our fantastic massage people here at Flow, they'll always put something to support your legs. Have the knees soft and the body relaxed. So we can here just take that moment, bringing ourselves into that place, maybe transporting ourselves as we're on a massage table with those expert, fantastic hands of our Flow massage people. And just feel that melting down like warm butter on a warm plate. And then if you have something to cover your eyes, just do so. This actually allows the brain to know that it is time just to completely retreat and relax. Gently relax the eyes, relax the jaws, feeling a little space between the lips and the teeth, relaxing the tongue, releasing our shoulders, our arms, releasing our hips, our legs, and our whole body relaxes. You just hear the sound of the breath. The rise and fall of our chest, and the beating of our hearts. We begin to slowly wiggle our fingers and wiggle our toes. Feeling our breath deepen just a bit. Feeling our ankles and our wrists moving, and then slowly our arms and our legs. Maybe giving ourselves a big stretch and feel that breath flowing fully. And then maybe bringing those knees one more time up into the chest, giving yourself that loving hug. little side to side rock. And then again, guiding ourselves up and take our seat. Softly bring our palms together into the Anjali Mudra, our thumbs at our chest. May the long-time sun shine upon you. May all love surround you. And may the pure light within you guide you on. From my heart to your heart, peace, health, love, and all wonderful things. Namaste. Thank you for joining.